Hi, hello. It's Jill. Me. How you doing? This is definitely not the second time I'm trying to record this video in a room with closed windows so that the outside noise doesn't get in while I'm cooking alive. You might be wondering, is this another time that I came back to making YouTube videos? To which I say, yes it is, you cheeky fucker, now shut up. Your second question might be, who is this beautiful fella in front of you? This absolute unit, Chad, of a VTuber? To which I say, go check out my Twitch. Here it is. I stream a lot, but I don't get viewers, not yet, which is where you come in. This video is a legally obliging document. You now obliged to come to my stream. That's a law. You can also check out my Twitter if you wanna keep up with when I go live, because that's the easiest way to do so. Twitter? Twitch. Technology, am I right? You might also be asking, where are we? Well, this is my chatting room where I go to chat, or in this case, make videos. As you know, I used to make videos with just gameplay footage in the background so that you could have something to watch. But that was pretty miserable and nobody really seemed to give a shit, and so I'm trying something new and hopefully this is gonna work. I'm still gonna use audio from games, either music or just combination of music and game sounds as in this video, so if you have any thoughts, let me know. If it's disgusting and horrible and I should do something else, let me know. And if it's amazing and cool and I'm the best, let me know as well. You might also be wondering, this place, what exactly is this place? Why am I in a hallway? To which I'm gonna say, shut up. Why the fuck are you asking me this? It's my place. Who the fuck are you? You might also be wondering if there's anyone behind me. And only you will know the answer to that. This video is from the past. If there is anyone who will kill me, I'm already dead. Only you can solve the mystery. With that being said, yeah, so my Murcielago addiction is a bit over and done with, and so I was thinking about the video to do, and initially I wanted to make a Berserk video, but then something happened, and even if I hate Berserk, I have enough common sense to let people grieve, so to say. And so instead I'm making Final Fantasy XIV video. Now, why am I making Final Fantasy XIV video again? Well, as you know, my previous predictions were not as good, and so I decided to make another prediction. Yay! Let's see if I can get this one right. I was watching a video by Everyday Eorzean, a lovely person who's making Final Fantasy XIV video, which is not guides or fashion, or kind of, yeah, go check them out. They do good stuff. I enjoy it. Go, but not before you finish this video. First you finish this. And so I watched their video about Vitra, where they talked about who the fuck Vitra is, where they came from, and I was like, well, what about Azdaja? Because Azdaja was revealed to be the last of the first brood that we do not know about. And so I looked into Azdaja and found out that apparently it has connection to the Russian mythology. And I'm kind of Russian, so I was like, you know what? Time to make a video. So this is a video talking about Azdaja, or more specifically speculating as to who the fuck it is. Now, if you would Google the word Azdaja, you won't really get much. And from what I gather, Azdaja, it's a little bit complicated. So, Russia has a specific type of dragons, like, you know, everyone else, pretty much. Asia has it, you know, Japan and China. Europe has different versions of dragons. Nordic, or Scandinavian countries, I should say, have their own version of dragons. And so does Russia. And when reading about them, you can read about different subcategories, and one of them is Azdaja. Now, Azdaja is a demon which whose name can vary depending on the region, who comes from certain mythologies from the countries of Bulgaria, Macedonia, and Serbia, as well as being present in the mythology of Bashkir people, which is an ethnic minority in Russia. Amazing, isn't it? You're getting a little history lesson. Good for you. So, reading on them, on those mythologies, I didn't find anything specific. I'm sure that if you would really look for it, you would find specific stories. I managed to find only one, which was very obscure and only used the name Azdaja like once, but it was enough for me to get a general grasp of the situation. And the grasp is that Azdaja is pretty much just a synonym to a Russian dragon, because it's pretty much the same thing. And so from that, I decided to, okay, I'm going to instead explore Russian dragons and base my prediction for Azdaja in Final Fantasy XIV on that. So what do we know about them? Well, first of all, what they're called? They're called Zmei in Russian, which is kind of a bad term for a snake. Kind of. It's, to not get into the linguistics too much, it's pretty much the word snake, but then with a different ending as to make it sound more demonic, because the idea is that in Russian mythology, at least in the really old one, you know, even before you had Russia, you know, during the time of the Kiev, when Russia was just Kiev, the idea was that the dragon, or Zmei, was just a snake who kind of, you know, lived for a really long time, then, you know, naturally became evil and became a dragon. So not too dissimilar to Kitsune in good old Japanese mythology, where it's a fox who lives for a really long time and then gains sentience and tends to start being mischievous and or evil. Also, if you hear any background noises, I apologize, but if you will comment about it, I will find you and I will kill you. Good, great. So, as I was saying, Russian dragons, what's up with them? Well, first of all, appearance. In terms of appearance, it can vary. The best way to go about it is it's a middle ground between Nordic dragons and European dragons. So, for example, take someone like, you know, Bahamut or Tiamat, who are fairly classic. They are fairly classic European dragons with a more prominent and bulkier bodies, and then take someone like Nidhogg, who has a really elongated body. Good. Now take a middle ground between them. So the body is kind of long, but it's still, they have a torso, right? But it's a bit longer. That's the best way to describe them. And another prominent feature of them is necks. Long necks. And you heard it right. I said necks, as in plural. In fact, 2 to 13. That's usually how much necks they have. It's not really impossible to find Russian dragons without many heads. In fact, there's this drawing which depicts a Russian dragon who looks kind of like a crocodile. You can still see those longer features, you know, slender, longer features, but for the most part, it has one head. That is not a regular depiction. This is a regular depiction. Many heads, long necks. Fun fact is that you don't actually have to burn them. Like, as in when you cut them, you don't burn them. With the way it is with Hydra or Orochi in Japanese mythology. Later on, there was a mythology of that you have to rub ashes, or hot ashes, onto the wound after you cut off the head. But the original mythology is that you just cut the head and that's it. You're done. In original mythology, Russian Zmei, the most popular one, Zmei Gorenich, has 3 heads. So where does it leave us? Well, my first prediction would be that Azdaja would look like a middle ground between Tiamat and Nidhogg, and most importantly, Azdaja is going to have several heads, at least 3, possibly more. That will give us a unique design, the same way that, you know, you have Nidhogg and Hrtzhavga and Tiamat and Bahamut, who are kind of similar because they come from roughly similar mythologies, kind of give or take. And then you have Vitra, who looks really different because he comes from a different mythology. Well, since Azdaja is going to come from a different mythology than everyone else, I think it's fair to say that Azdaja is going to look different as well. And I think giving it several heads is going to be different enough. Now, where the fuck is Azdaja? Well, at the end of 5.55, when we were looking at Xenos, we heard a sound of a dragon. It might have been Vitra, or any other dragon, really. So it's not definitive to say that it is Azdaja. I mean, I can take a look at this shot where you see several buildings, and say that this might be a hint for Azdaja, you know, 3 heads, 3 buildings, but it's not good or definitive enough. But I will still say that Azdaja probably was in the northern part of Ilzabard. Now, the question is, why? Well, it has been noted before that the most northern part of Ilzabard is the part of Ilzabard that Garland Empire never managed to conquer, because it's really fucking cold. Where is also really fucking cold in real life? That's right, in Russia. I think it just kind of makes sense. If you have a Russian-based dragon, they're gonna be in a really cold fucking place, like colder than Ishgard. I think it makes sense. So you put it, you put Azdaja there as some sort of hermit, which also would make sense because in Russian mythology, dragons often were hermits. They were kind of just alone in like mountains, kidnapping princesses and killing people and shit. Which brings me to my next point. Russian dragons are really fucking evil. Dragons are not always evil, especially when you have named ones. You know, even someone like Nidhogg is not really evil. He is chaotic, but he's not inherently evil. It is different for Russian dragons. Russian dragons are inherently evil. That's a very big point. They fucking are. They are very evil. So while it could be that Azdaja might come as Xenos' ally because they were, or she was, I guess, mind controlled, I think it would make for a much better story if Azdaja is just naturally evil. Like, out of all the children of Midji, she just happens to be the naturally evil one. For what reason? Destruction, or greed, or gluttony? That's up to the interpretation and whatever story that storytellers of Final Fantasy XIV want to tell. But I do think that making Azdaja inherently evil would be an interesting, different, and good direction to take it. Speaking of, the reason why I said she is because in Russian mythology they are kind of women. The reason why I say kind is because Zmei Gorenich, the most popular Russian dragon, is a man who kidnaps a princess and then gets killed by a Russian version of, you know, a knight, like a Templar, kind of. Like a holy good guy knight, right? That is rather interesting because originally, as I said, Russian dragons, Zmeis, they were snakes who became dragons, and they usually were women, which also kind of creates a parallel with, you know, witches. There's even one Russian folklore where a witch takes on appearance of a dragon as her ultimate form. And you can see it in different games and media, you know, mage women who are usually evil taking on a form of a dragon. You know, you can see that. So what is my ultimate prediction for Azdaja? Well, I think Azdaja is going to be from the most northern part of Ilsabard, right here. And I think that Azdaja is going to be naturally evil, based in Russian folklore, and have several heads. And also, when it comes to elements, Azdaja will probably be able to control water and fire, unless they want to go with even crazier stuff. The reason why I say water and fire is because European dragons are usually associated with fire, and Asian dragons are often associated with water, but Russian dragons can be associated with either or maybe just both, because, you know, Russia is kind of like a hot pot of Asian and European stuff. And yeah, I hope that this video was educating and that my guess will be correct, so that I can finally say, I got you, Yoshida. I fucking got you. With that being said, do hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out my Twitch. It's nice. I stream shit. Tomorrow, or today, because this video is probably gonna be uploaded on today, the 12th of June, I'm gonna be streaming E3. Maybe, probably check Twitter for that. And then I'm gonna stream some Mass Effect. I'm currently streaming Mass Effect. Isn't it nice? And I'm gonna stream Dragon Age. I love RPGs. Isn't that fantastic? You wanna know when I go live? Twitter! I already said it, you dummy! You're so forgetful. And I do hope to see you in the next video. What is it gonna be about? I don't know. Is it gonna be after 6 months from this video? Maybe. Who knows? Once again, I was planning to make a long critique video on Berserk, but then stuff happened, as you all might know. So, fuck me, right? I'll think something. And in the meantime, you can think of something while watching my streams. Take care, bye, and do not die. Dying is not cool.